So in this video, I'll be going over some fade lineups on the brand new map Pearl. Now, if it looks a bit laggy throughout this video, I'm from Australia but playing on American servers because the patch just came out here. That's why that is. I've got timestamps in the description if you just want to find certain parts of the map. For example, like attacking A, defending A, retaking A, or defending B, attacking B. All that will be in the description, so you can go there if you want just certain parts of the map for certain situations. But otherwise, let's just hop straight into it. If you want some early information when you're attacking A, you want to see if anyone's pushing out, what you can do, back yourself into this corner. Aim right at this little point where these two lines intersect. You want to aim right there. Just do a normal throw. This will then land right up here on this corner, and you'll be able to see people coming out of this area if they're pushing up out of A main. If you stand right around this area where these two dots are and these tiles, and then aim at the top of this little segment of this wall right here, and just do a normal jumping throw, you can see it will land right at the top here, and it won't quite reach back there because it's too far away, but it'll clear out the entirety of sight, excluding behind that. And in general, it's just really high up, and it'll still give you that similar information about people pushing out of A main early. To get a lineup that lands up here, and then that'll then clear out these areas of sight, will clear most of this cubby area, as well as these entrances here for the defenders. What you can do, come next to this box right here. On this rug, you want to be standing roughly on this corner. Then, using this point on the wall as a guideline, you want to line up this part of your HUD with it there. Then just do a normal jumping throw. And then as you can see, it will land up here quite nicely, again clearing out all those areas that I mentioned before. To get another one in that similar spot, this one will work if this area is smoked off by the defenders. You can come into this corner right here, hit this corner of your HUD to line up roughly there. It should look something like that. Then just do a normal jumping throw, and as you can see, it'll land up in this area, somewhere along here, and you'll get information about back here, information about side, and again, information about these choke points. To get information about some of these closer angles, there's another one that you can do if this is smoked off. Put yourself up against this wall right here and aim for that point where my crosshair is now, again where these two different lines intersect. Then just do a normal throw, you don't need to jump. It will then land up here, clearing out all of these close angles. This one's going to be very situational as to where the defenders are holding, what sort of smokes are up, but if you run to the wall at this point where this line on the ground is, then aim at the top corner of this roof, do a normal throw. It'll come up here nicely and clear out like behind back here, which is probably going to be a common rowdy spot for people to play from. It'll clear out back there, it'll clear, so that could be stuff like that. Now this one's going to be a bit tough, so I recommend you come into a custom game and practice a little bit. You want to stand roughly here against the wall, just to the right of this pillar, and then aim above this light right here in line with the roof. Do a running jump throw, and you can see it will land on top of this roof, and it's probably one of the better lineups for this side. It'll clear out that corner, it'll clear out there, especially it'll clear out back here, which is going to be something you really want to clear. This one is by no means easy to get down perfectly. It can be a bit inconsistent, but if you come into a custom game and practice it, you'll get it down pretty quickly. Once you've got the spike planted on A and you want to see where the defenders are coming from, by the way that this is laid out, you can't really clear both of these at once. So instead, I just recommend using some of those same attacking lineups. Like if you've already got the spike planted, you can throw it up here and it'll catch anyone defusing it if you planted it like in these areas. Or if you planted it in that corner there, what you can do is come into this corner back here, aim at this top corner right here, do a running jumping throw, and then you can see it'll land up here on this roof and clear out here, exactly where that spike is, as well as some of these other angles on site. When you're defending B and you want to see if there's anyone out here in this A restaurant earlier, you can do a running jump. It doesn't matter how much you run, it's actually pretty easy to do. So make sure you're throwing it by the time that you cross this corner. Aim in the just very, very general vicinity above this roof right here, and then just do a running throw like so. It'll come up here, land somewhere around this area, and then you'll get all this information about A restaurant and anyone pushing into the A main area. Another one for defending A, but maybe a little bit later in the round if you want to clear out this sort of area, see what's going on. Stand in this corner on site, line up your HUD up to this point, so roughly around there, then just do a normal throw. You can see it's going to land all the way up here, and then you'll get this information, maybe not quite all the way back there because it's going to be past the 30 meters of range, but anywhere closer than that, it's going to tell you. So maybe if you've got defender smokes up here, you're not sure what's going on the other side, again, line up your HUD like so, do a normal jumping throw, and you can see it's going to land right up here. If you want a bit of a safer way to clear a similar sort of area, you can come back here and stand on this corner of this door along this area, then aim at that point, do a normal jumping throw, and then it's going to land right up here very, very nicely. And you can see again, it'll clear all the way back through there, as well as people getting ready to push onto the A side. If you're defending from this sort of A link area, One that you can do is come to this corner back here, aim your crosshair at the top of the roof right there, do a normal jumping throw, and it'll land right up here and see people pushing into A main. What you can do to get it up here and get early information about what's happening outside of A from B link, come to this corner right here. You want to aim at like the inside bottom left corner of this painting. It's not right there. You want it to be right there instead. So aim your crosshair at that corner like so, then just do a normal throw, and it's going to get stuck in this window, and it'll sit perfectly right here, and you get all this information about what's happening outside A. Now, when it comes to retaking A as a defender, one cheeky one you can do from this corner right here in flowers, if you stand in this corner and crouch, aim at this light, and then jump, it'll bounce off there, land up here on this railing, and catch people all the way back there, maybe as they're walking out, or if they're holding these close angles. Cheeky one you can use to switch things up a bit. This area is smoked off and the attackers can't see you. One thing you can do, stand on this corner right here between where these tiles are, aim at the top of this roof right here. It won't let me ping it, but right where I'm aiming here, then just do a jumping throw, it'll land up on top of this roof, and we'll clear that area in A main. These corners down there, stuff like that. You can just throw it anywhere through this window, and it'll land down here, and you can get information about these sort of cheeky angles that people might be playing from on site. Alternatively, you can come into this corner, aim at this inside corner right there, then just do a jumping throw, and this one is going to land up here, which will give you some information about this A link area, as well as people holding close in A main, and again, this sort of cubby area on A site. If you have control of this sort of backside area and want to clear out in main, you can literally just aim about this far above this area, do a running jumping through, it'll go over the top, and then clear out this area. And if they don't shoot it in time, you can see how many people are playing from main. When it comes to attacking mid on Pearl, I personally found no lineups that I thought were actually good or useful, because this area back here is so enclosed, it's literally impossible to get it in from mid unless you're over here and throwing it in, and that's not really a lineup. You can literally just throw it in only from this side. There are some lineups from the defender side though. If you're playing on B link, you can stand in this corner right down here, aim at the bottom right part of this window, do a jumping throw, and then that's going to land on the corner of this roof, and that'll give you information about people pushing into mid from shops. When it comes to attacking the B side, you'll have to get pretty close up to do anything effective because of just how long and open this area is. If it's safe, you can come into this corner right here, aim at the top of this roof, where I'm aiming there, then do a normal jumping throw, and it'll land very nicely on the top corner of this roof. It won't quite clear out that corner, but you'll get a lot of information about some of these areas on site. If you've got like a Viper on your team and you can wall off this area and smoke off that, one that I really recommend that you do, come stand on this point right here. You don't have to be too precise with it, just roughly around that corner, and then you want to aim at the top of that right there, do a normal jumping throw, and it'll actually land all the way up the top here, which is pretty high up, but you can see it'll clear out all of these angles, still into heaven, still back there. There's probably one of the most important angles you want to be able to clear out, which you'll get done with this lineup. One lineup you can do on the run as you're approaching B main is if you make sure you're throwing it from roughly when this starts and aiming at the line of this roof right here. It's pretty easy to get it up there. Just aim roughly along the line of that roof, and it'll land back here. Sometimes it'll land a bit further back, but you'll still get information about this, close angles like that, if they're peeking out of heaven. Another running one from B ramp you can do if you want to keep in mind throwing it around that point and throwing it roughly above there. Just do a running jumping throw, it'll go over the top, lands up on top of here, it'll clear out there in hole, and clear out some of these angles where people might be playing from, as well as behind screen as well. One you can do to see into this sort of tunnel records area, the defender side of B, so after you've planted the spike, come to this corner of the papers right around here, aim at that corner of the roof, and just do a jumping throw, and you can see it'll land on top of the tree here and get you information about these areas. Putting out information about this part of B link, what you can do from the exact same spot, again crouching on this corner of paper, then aim at that point right at the corner of that roof, jump and throw, and then it'll go right around up here, and it'll give you that information about people coming in from B link. That's it for attacking B. Now when it comes to defending B, one you can do right at the start of the round is just starting right around that point. Doesn't have to be too precise. Then aim roughly at that corner, running jumping throw, it'll go over the top and then land up on this bad boy, and it'll give you information about people that are going onto B ramp. If you want to get the same information but be more pushed up, you can stand roughly in this corner. Line up that corner with this part of your HUD like so. Then just do a normal throw, and you can see the horn is going to land up here and get that same information. If you're playing for B tower or B heaven, one that you can do is stand roughly in line with this at the start of the rounds. Aim anywhere at this sort of area on this bell tower.
I'll find you.
Then just do a jumping throw. It'll land up here. And you'll be able to see people that are coming through B main and B ramp. If you landed on top of this roof right here, you can start from on site. Just stand anywhere roughly around here. Aim between these two parts of the roof right here. Do a normal jumping throw. Then it'll land over the top on this corner of the roof right here. You get all this information about B main and B ramp as well. When it comes to retaking B site as a defender, one that you can do as you're running through the spawn is stay pressed up against this wall. You want to start off at the back of this box, aiming at the bottom of this ledge right here, and just do a running jumping throw. It'll come over the top of this, land generally along this roof right here, and then it'll clear out onto B main, as well as maybe some people who are still lurking on site in unexpected angles. If you're coming through B tower, you can try and bounce it off this corner right here, so you're aiming roughly around there as you come through, bounce it off, and it'll then rebound onto this area right here, which will give you information about anyone coming through B link, as well as information about ramp and B main. Those are some of the lineups I found on Pearl for Fade. I might do another video with Fade on this map with things like how to use her ultimate on it, her prowlers, places to throw her C's, and stuff like that. So if that's something you want to see, let me know. Otherwise, that's it from me for now, and I'll see you all next time. See ya.